Hey everyone, today is Saturday. It's a beautiful day out. It's about 80 degrees. I have my brother filming again, and I have his boy here, Jack. He's going to be my helper today.
Hi.
So he has the bee suit on, and we're going to open this hive up. You see here, this is the hive that I put the new box on. It's freshly stained. It was all good. So we're going to take the food off today, and I have a feeling that they're going to be pretty close to actually adding a honey super. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to get them ventilation holes. I can see that the bees are up there. So I'm going to pop these off. We're going to give them a little bit of smoke. Go ahead and step back from me, Jack, a little bit. There's an aroma to them it's kind of like an earthy, sweet smell that I've kind of identified as with the bees. So now I'm going to lift the cover, give it a tilt, and what I'm seeing there is pretty impressive. Now Jack, we're going to look for the queen bee.
I don't know what to look for.
She's going to be the biggest one.
The biggest one? Okay.
Yeah, so she's probably not up here, but we just want to always make sure. Now this right here is the pollen patty. Matt, if you want to zoom in a little bit, you can see where they eat through. That's just a paper on the top there. And what that does is they eat through that and they get to the pollen. So now Jack, you'll be able to see it much better once I packed my smoker really full, so not burning as good right now. All right, so they're doing exactly what we wanted. We look at the frame here. You're getting some nectar that's in there. You're also getting some pollen. You'll see some darker spots, and you see the lower end there. You see where it's darker on the bottom. If you want to get closer, they'll actually transfer some wax over into the new areas as they start to draw out. So this running right here, if you want to get really close, starting to fill up with the nectar. So this is what we want. They're starting to move up. And again, it was just last week that we put these in here, and there was no comb whatsoever. So they are going to work. This is all nectar. This is exactly what we want to see. I see a couple drones on there. The drones are the male bees. Looking really good. As I look in there, I see a whole bunch of bees that have their faces into the comb. That means that they're putting stuff in there, whether that be pollen or nectar. Well, I think that's a huge drone. Yep, I looked at the eyes. It was just a really big drone. I wanted to make sure it wasn't the queen. The queens are much more elongated, but the drones are much more stumpy, if you will. So I like what I'm seeing here. We're going to take this off. We're going to explore the brood chamber. I don't need to see too much more in here. It's unlikely that the queen would be in this box, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot more time on here, but every single one of these frames is getting drawn out, so they definitely are starting to work. So we're going to put this guy back in here, and even this is the end frame. This one is getting full as well. So what we're going to do, I'm going to set that one just like this. Jack, go ahead and step over just a little bit, because I'm going to move this whole box right there. When you do this, again, you turn so you don't lift it up, and we're just going to move this right here. So I want to look at the top. I'm going to give them a little more smoke. Matt, if you want to film the pollen patty, show them getting right back to work there. Jack, watch how this smoke puts them right down.
Why are they walking so carefully?
Because they don't like the.
What is that?
So this is the comb.
Why don't you want the comb on?
That's called burr comb. They actually put this out there to hold things together. So you want to keep your frames always nice and neat. Okay? Alright. I'm going to take these. Okay, so now we're going to check this out. This is the bottom brood chamber. We just smoked them. And I can tell you right now that this is a really heavy frame. This is all nectar over here. You can see where they're capping it a little bit. And I see like a whole frame of almost capped honey down there. Now that's good and bad because the queen is not going to move outside of the capped honey in order to put any eggs over there. Matt, you can go ahead and end that. Okay, this is the second frame that I just grabbed. This is a beautiful pattern. You have a circular shape of the brood chamber, and then on the outside you see the white. Well, that's all honey cappings. I'm going to turn this around. Matt, if you want to get nice and close, get as close as you can. Inside each one of those is a new egg that'll turn into a bee. So I'm looking to see right now. That tells me that the queen has been there within 3 days. And each one of these, these are all at different stages. You can see where they're starting to turn into a larvae. You see that, Matt?
I think so.
This is exactly what it is. You girls are doing good. Okay, Jack, I'm gonna start moving a little faster here. This frame here,
Holy cows.
you can see where they're starting to hatch. I'm really looking for the queen on this one. And seeing if I can find one that's actually emerging. But again, if you want to get close, see the pattern of honey around the brood. And then as you look through here, I'm just looking to see if we can find the queen because I have a feeling she might be nearby. Now these ones here, you can see where they're filling in with a little bit of nectar and pollen as these brood on that side hatch out. These are pretty calm, aren't they, Jack? So this was, I believe, the frame that had what I thought was potentially a super seizure or a new queen cell on it. So I just want to double check and see. A lot of drones. A lot of nectar and pollen in here. But I don't see any cells that are of concern. Some drone cells, and it may have been a drone cell. Okay, so we went through, we inspected. I'm glad I put that new deep box on there because they've filled up about 70% of that. They also, down on the bottom, they're looking really good. I saw the eggs, which I showed you. So what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna be gone for about a week and a half or a week. And because of the weather is gonna be good, I don't think it's gonna be a need necessarily for them to be able to regulate temperature. So I'm actually gonna put a honey super on this. I'm gonna try the queen excluders this year. Some people in the beekeeping field don't use these. They call them a honey excluder. I've seen a lot of people that have a lot of success with these. It prevents the queen from being able to get up and where the worker bees are storing the honey. So that's what this is used for. So this goes right on top. We'll put it like this. Then we have a new box over here that we'll put on top of there, just for the sake of it. Because all these bees that were on the frames are over here now. I want to just double check. Matt, you can kind of see all these over here. Make sure that my queen is not over there. Since there are so many bees in there, I don't think she would be, but I just want to make sure. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them a shake on top, just because I want to see how well they go through. So Jack, look out, step back for me.
Wow.
Matt, you want to come over here? So, took both of these off. Now there's bees that are still eating it. They'll eat it year round. They won't give it up completely, just because it's just like having a can of Coke that's outside. They're gonna take the opportunity. Smoke that real quick. Now this is the hive that historically, or within the last month, has been much stronger. So take that off. As always, take a quick glance. See if you can see the queen, which I don't. And we're gonna set these right here. Give these guys some smoke. And I can see right now that they have already some capped honey in there in the middle frames. They always start on the outside and look at them work. Seeing if the queen is there. These bees definitely have a shinier look to them. Some of these could have freshly just came out. Always make sure you look for the queen even on the outside. You just don't want to squish her or put her in an area where she could flee the nest. So this one's not drawn out a whole lot. Now that we've gotten those frames out, we got some more room to work here. And I can tell you right now the weight of this one already. You can see, get some of those dark spots in there. That's where they're bringing in pollen. Otherwise the shininess in there, that's either nectar or the sugar water. Okay, so it would be the 6th frame over. On top, you see the honey that's capped over. It's real white. Now, if you go down, see if I can do this without dropping it. You look right here, that's brood, which means that the queen has made her way up and is starting to lay brood in here. So that's really good. The frames up until this point has been nectar and some capped honey. A lot of that, and I'll just show you here real quick. A lot of that though is probably the sugar water that I had on there. But you can see the difference of that nice white capping wax versus what they cap their brood with. The brood capping is actually perforated because they'll actually breathe through that. So since the queen is up here, I need to be conscious. Oh, look at here. You have different stages, larvae, capped brood. That queen is a workhorse. Some drones I see on there. Oh, there she is. Okay. Right here, there she is. We'll watch her for a little bit. She's checking, there's some nectar in there, so she's trying to find an open cell. Jack, do you see her? Right here. So the queens don't necessarily like the sun a whole lot. So she's looking around. Looking around. And looks like she's not, oh, there she goes, climbing over different bees. So because she's going towards that side, I'm gonna just put her back in here and I'm gonna tighten these frames up because I know that she's there. She's on the other side, and that way I know that I'm not gonna squish her. She's in there, she's laying, we saw as much as we need to see. I'm actually not gonna take the bottom off at this point. I just don't, I probably would be safe to do it, but I've seen what I need to see. I see that the bees have already filled up the entire bottom. She's good to go. This hive is really good to go. We're gonna put the queen excluder on there, put the honey supers on there, and let them go to work. This is a really, really strong hive. I won't be surprised if this hive produces a significant amount of honey this year. All right, I think I'm ready now to take my trip. It might have been a little bit early to add the honey supers, but again, with this weather that we're having here, the honey flow is gonna start up really soon. Both of these are set up the same way. We have 2 deep boxes that the queen can go in, lay. They have some nectar and honey in there. There's brood. We saw the queen here. We saw evidence of eggs over there. Things are looking really, really strong. We pulled the sugar water. Since we have a honey super on that, we also pulled medications. The medications, there are some studies that they are okay to use, but there's still some, there's a lot of literature on that. If you're gonna be putting honey supers on that are for human consumption, you wanna take that off. So as we go here, Jack has something to say about our YouTube channel. I want to grow this thing. It's really cool. It's a cool hobby. Jack, go ahead and let him know.
Make sure to smash that like button and ring that little bell.
Yes, smash the like button, ring the little bell, get notified by it. We also have a Facebook page. Go ahead and give that a like, throw some comments on there. It's all about honeybees. There's nothing else. Thank you.